Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. My name is Rabenschild. I'm recording this a lot earlier than I usually would record, not day-wise, kind of not how to say it. So usually I have one day or so in between recordings. Today I'm recording basically a few hours after the last recording. So you see in front of me something that doesn't work again. So I started this tunnel and it immediately changed how I had that in mind, how I could do the whole thing. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to drive up a rover onto this bit once it is done, and then just drive forwards and drill the whole tunnel out more and more. You can see that this kind of changed the idea of how to do it. That has to do with the fact, give me a sec so I can reload this, has to do with the effect the voxels give once you basically you can't smooth them out. So if you are driving with a rover over this area here, you end up always having these bumps in between. So you have to so you have to turn off your drill and fill system, drive, see if it works out, and then you have to turn it on, wait, turn it off again once it's done, drive, find the balance again. And the whole thing is that the rover doesn't only shift upwards and downwards, it also rotates to the sides. And the terrain makes it terrain, the ground makes it go crazy. So I decided to go with blocks. Flatten it out, that makes it easy. We can just drill into it and have a flat area. And then I would have to adjust the angling of the whole tunnel. So at one point I decided I want to angle the tunnel downwards so that I can get towards the GPS point there, so that we don't go at one point. The gravity of this really small objects at one point lets us go upwards basically, and that's something we talked about. I told you that I wanted to basically take the curve of the planet with me with the change of plans. That was not possible anymore, but I thought then let us just do that artificially. So I tried two methods. The first method is just grab a block, place it, go to a gravity alignment, and then I would be able to have gravity aligned blocks. Let's try this, and we have to stay a bit away to get another block in between. So did this, and now we could go and project a line over there, and then everything would be fine. Problem with this is let us go and do an appropriate. So we cannot get a straight line in here, so we would have a curve in the tunnel, and then we could continue. But the biggest problem with this is, and let's see if I can replicate that, I wanted to connect these so that I don't have this crazy bump here, and we can hopefully drive over it, and that would work here. But the most of the time I tried that, this whole structure shifted, and started to go and try to fit into this grid. So it took the same, although they were not connected, it shifted and went into the same plane as this one. So now I said, I don't want to have a curve in here, because the curve would make my life a bit worse. That the problem with this is just that for some reason I cannot go in and do a precise, how to say that? I cannot really precisely align it so that it is within the grid but aligned to the gravity. So that's not possible. And again, sometimes it just shifted the whole grid to then fit to this grid. Weird thing. Good. Next problem that I have is, then I said, maybe a projector can help. We can use a projector, then project the grid in with a few degrees off, and you can see this works. So this is just one degree shift in the grid to this grid here. Brought it in so that it fits to the blocks relatively closely, and said, okay, then I can just connect this and everything works. And would you believe this? See that? The whole grid is shifted again, like we have with the small projectors. I am far out of the 0 point of this map, and that seems to shift the whole grid. You can see I cannot weld it up, and cannot go in and stick another thing here. It could be because of the two different grids. A thing I thought about doing would be to bring in the nanites mod, not the nanobots, the nanites, because they have in the mod a thing I can stick on projections, and then the nanites just fix the projection up from there, so there doesn't need to be any contact. But yeah, here I cannot do anything. Now, the question for me is, I think I will just continue drilling. We'll try to get out on the other side, see how big the difference is, and then maybe come in from the other side and drill into the mountain and try to to stay within the limits. The tunnel might not be as nice then anymore, but I might be able to just shift the whole thing a bit, and then we might be able to just go, basically have somewhere in the middle a peak of the tunnel that we have to go over, that we maybe can flatten out with some tricks. So I brought in the chassis of the new rover. This is not the finished new rover, but I needed more drills, I needed a bit more space, I needed the wheels. So this makes my life here a bit easier, and I will finish it once the whole thing is done. So we will remove this and continue on with the normal tunneling method without adhering to the slope that we would need. Adjusting here doesn't work out so fine, let's say it that way. And again, I don't want to eyeball it. Eyeballing here is not a thing that is needed. I might end up a few meters above the GPS point. And again, with that, then I can basically just drill in from the other side and straighten out the whole thing. We could even try to fill it then later or something like that. I'm not sure. We will have to see how that works out. But I'm the whole thing. I'm kind of. I ran into the whole problem with the PAM on Fundland 2, and there it didn't work out as nice as I would have liked it. And here, with a far easier drilling system, I run into some of the same problems. And again, the distance from the center of the map also makes this difficult. The problems that I had with projectors on Dune with the ornithopter, again, it seems they also project here to the big ones. It could be that I cannot place the blocks because we are basically projecting from the other grid, but we had no connection there. So why should it, I don't know, why should it be, I don't know, problematic? Maybe it is just a thing that space engineers, when it comes to building the grids, will not let us do this. I will live with it. In survival, there is limits to the things you can do. I could have, don't know, I could spawn in the whole thing and then just align it to the gravity, try to fit it in and hopefully have something like that. But I think it's not. It is worth it, but we are in a survival world, so spawning in the stuff is not a thing that will happen. Good. I will drill a bit more and then come back to you. I hope that I finally did it. This is the smallest gap I could get and the straightest I could get it. I hope this is not too bad. The question always stands if I want to keep the steel in there later, because this would be a massive structure and I would have to do this again at one point. So I will have a problem somewhere on the outside anyways, but yeah, we will have to see how bad it is in the end. The maybe I will go to 300 meters or something and then do that again and bring in another one of these gaps. The battery, I had to already go and scrape together things. The stone I'm wasting here is crazy, but to be able to drill fast, I have to go and drop it or just get rid of it. Until we get to here, we will continue drilling with the normal settings. Then we will go over the hump, keep the settings so that the settings will not change, but go over the bump, and then hopefully we drill basically just slightly into a different direction. So at the moment I'm eyeballing just this distance here to hopefully keep it relatively straight towards the point that we have there. The rover is still misbehaving, so there is still slight deviations from the straight line when you drive. So I don't know where that comes from, but it also happens while you are on the blocks here, and the blocks should be flat and there shouldn't be any problems with that, but there is, sadly. And I could end up running into the problem where it sinks put this grid into the blocks again. I hope that having 2 different grids kind of gets rid of that. And I hope that this bump is not too crazy. The thing is, you can see that there might also be a bit of a variation in the roll axis. I will just say that. So the height here seems to be different. So the height of this grid here on this end seems to be very different from here. I hope you can see that. So this is all crazy. Not really nice. But we will continue. We will end up in the other crater, and then we can see what we can do there. There is, by the way, there is nice resources still in this crater that I might have to sneakily grab with the drill and fill. We will have to see. I need more uranium. We are running out of uranium because I've set up some reactors, and I might set up one here too to keep the different parts powered. I always had the question, do lamps or lights take power? This part here has nothing on it. Current input, current output. There's nothing on here, and the other part just has 4 lights on it right now. And I always wanted to see if lights take power, because yeah, they do. So 240 watts, so 60 each. They do. I always thought they didn't, because the lights themselves don't show the power output. We can take a look at that. That's another question answered. By the way, I got I got a comment that I didn't mention a link to a mod that I'm using, or I used at that point. It was about the defense shields. And the viewer was not too happy with me not having a link in the description. And one thing I just want to mention, if you want to have more links in the description, then let me know. Otherwise, for most mods that I really integrate into the world and use all the time, there is for once always a comment. Ask for something. I most of the time mention the name, and most of the time also the author. So if you do not search yourself, then leave a comment. I will gladly give you the name and the mod author, and sometimes a link. But being angry about me not making a mod spotlight, basically. This is an LP world, and that gets me. I will provide links when they are needed, and if I just talk about one mod in a video, but when I'm doing an LP, I usually don't do that. Any links, if I don't explicitly say it. So don't know, being angry about that is kind of don't know. It was not nice to hear, but I provided, and the thing is, then I provided a link and said that for most of the mods I have a collection in the bottom that is at the moment not up to date, but that will be updated in the next days, maybe weeks, because then I have time to do that. And usually you can find everything in there, and the defense sheet is even in there, although I'm not using it anymore. So that's on you, good sir. Okay, people. Yeah, hopefully now with the slope we can just continue. I might have to bring it in a bit to start, because here you can see that the ground starts to get really close to the, and that shows you how much of a shift there is in gravity. That it, what is happening here? Why do I, something weird is happening here. How much of a shift there is in gravity in this area here. There's invisible things here. I hope that doesn't destroy my car. Yeah, this brake definitely is needed. Otherwise, I will not end up in a good spot when it comes to the. So if I'm 10, 20 meters above the GPS, then this doesn't help me. I need to get it as close to level as possible. Good, let me, yeah, I will continue working on this. Maybe, don't know, maybe I can break through the wall today. So this is the next day. I'm just giving you progress on how this dig works. You can see that I'm now under 200 meters to the other tunnel entrance. Sorry for the noise. There's the drill and fill system makes exceptional noise. And as I said, I wanted to plonk down another one of these seams when I reach around 300 meters, so that I hopefully get out of this relatively straight and not too high up in the air on the other tunnel side. So yeah, this is long. This is a lot of blocks, and I kind of have to think about if I want to keep them or not. So in the meantime, a lot of people asked basically for progress, how the tunnel comes out, and I might not be able to bring this video on Monday. I think I will be able to bring it on Tuesday or Wednesday. I will have to see how that works out. So we brought in another reactor with a battery that hopefully works out. We are just using 120 watts. Let us see how long this holds up. It doesn't tell me. That's bad. I might have to get a seat in or something. I don't know. It's just this is just the worst. The idea that I had is, and I might try if that works, I still have the wireless power transmitter mod in, and maybe I can go in and set up outside of the tunnel walls, maybe a station for that with one reactor, or with I don't know, with maybe solar panels, and then keep this thing powered with wirelessly transmitted power. That could make our lives a bit easier, because here I constantly have to check if there is enough uranium in there, and maybe I have to just go through the whole thing and just throw crazy amounts of uranium in there. 120 watts is not a lot, but if I want to add more lights, then we might end up with I don't know, more than a few watts used up. I have to be careful around here. There's somewhere here I had an invisible piece of voxel or something like that I flew in and died multiple times. This, yeah, again, at the moment it works fine, and we should be close to the surface. So the whole dig hopefully will happen, don't know, today or tomorrow. We will have to see. The thing is, it takes more time than I thought. There were suggestions in the last video to maybe use the big drills. I'm not sure if they are faster. That I would have to test that, but I will finish this now with the small ones and not the. What takes a lot of time is the setup process. It's weird. You have to set these things up to the right level, set the wheels up to the right level, then bring this down, bring this up, do that for each group of drills, and if I would go and now do that again, I would have to do this process yeah, another time. I did that with the first rover that's sitting out there, and I have done it with this one. So again, I will just finish the last 185 meters with this thing. I hope that I don't have to record again tomorrow. I will try to finish it today. Just come back with you when we reach the other side, and then we can finish the episode here. Or not here, when we things reach the other side. In the middle of watching videos and preparing for this day to end, because it took a long time again. I see light, so we finally have breached the surface, and we are not as high as I suspected. So this is 25 meters, so we will have a bit of a height difference, and we'll have to build a ramp, because clearing that in any manageable way will not be possible. So we will have to build a ramp and then go down that. But you can see that that thing is far down. So I don't know. I think it worked out pretty well. I will finish this, go forward a bit, and then we will get rid of the rest of the wall there and can finally see where we end up. Let us go forward. So we missed our mark pretty hard. That's the only thing. So the whole thing there is off to the right, and let us see from the outside how bad it is. It is not as bad as I thought. So that's just a few meters we need to bridge with a ramp that we can build. That's nice. That's really nice. And then we have this whole crater to, I don't know, to explore, find if there's any cool resources here that we can dig up, or that we can, I don't know yet, but the industrial heart of it will be here. By the way, take a look at this weird thing that we have up there. So this is a weapon core RS antenna, and it is minus a lot of light years away. I have this weapon core mod loaded. It is relatively new. I wanted to take a look at that. I think I talked about that, this octo laser thing, and I don't know, I might have to throw that out again, because this is just this doesn't show up anywhere. So I'm not sure if there's oh, there's that's just, and I don't know what antenna is there. There seems to be an antenna that I don't understand. So I don't have anything out there. Can't see that. Have to maybe, oh, we can take a look. Give me a sec. Let us just go in and be a bit so I think there's a way to take a look at GPS points, or no, there's no characters, floating objects, asteroids. Yeah, that's bad. I thought there would be a thing where I can just take a look at the GPS points. Sadly, there isn't. Maybe with a camera, but I don't care. I have finally reached my mark. That's a nice thing. So we will have to build out the thing a bit more, and then again, this is not as high as I thought. But again, building against this, I don't know if it's worth it. We should just go with the little bit of a ramp that we need to do here. It can reach out far into the crater. I don't have any problems with that. Maybe make it a bit thicker so that we hopefully don't fall through it while driving up and down with a rover on it. But that is good. That is good. So let me build out a few blocks, and then I will stop this episode because we don't know. This is so weird. This is an episode that now took a few hours to make for basically nothing to show. It's one of these weird things again, where I sit for hours here and you see just 40 minutes of not a lot. But I have done. Don't know. This took a long time. So we will do it with these ramps. I'm not sure if I should use heavy armor. Heavy armor might be better. So let us see. This might end up being longer than I really wish for. The problem is the other type of ramp could be just too steep. I will use light armor blocks to just give me the necessary scaffolding. Okay. More of this. That will be material intensive, but we can just go in and bring the dropship in and just fix that up. I should have, yeah, I need the metal grids. That will be problematic because they need cobalt. Don't have cobalt down here. We'll have to fly that in, but I have the feeling everything else would be just too weak. So let us go with heavy armor. We will finish this, drive down the rover, and then we can just... Oh, come on. And then we can just end the episode here. That was, again, that was a lot of work that you didn't see. Although it's, yeah, with the drill and fill system makes it not as bad, because it is most of the time it's just sitting and waiting for it. But on the other hand, it's time I could, don't know, use for something else. Rover's done. So let us turn off the systems, turn off that. We just drive forward, and hopefully we are able to also get up the ramp. That could be a problem. Come on, don't be too steep. No, it's not. It's not. Oh, I have gyroscopes in here to maybe hold the whole thing up in the air. Ah, that worked out nicely. Cool. Okay, now I can explore. I have an ore detector on here. Maybe I go back and remove the parts that I don't need. So the drills and maybe then the stone dusters. We will see. But I think, people, that's all for today. Hope you like this episode. Please appreciate the work. Again, that was a few hours of just doing this stuff. Yeah, if you like the episode, please leave a like on the video. Leave me a comment and maybe give me some opinions. I don't know if I should change anything here. I hope to see you in the next video. See ya, guys.